before we go live, never mind.
Well, we're live. What's going on?
Oh, we started.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And for the first time in 40 years, Jader's live on the internet. And he's talking about,
it honestly has been about 40 years.
So,
yeah.
Such an occasion. AJ took off his hat in solidarity.
We're like, hell yeah, let's do it.
I take mine off, but you might get upset.
Like
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn's dead.
I always go like.
For roping.
I like that.
You're a jabroni. Quiet.
We're
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. My name's AJ Lancaster. I'm one of your co-hosts, and this is, well, let's put it this way. Everybody on this stream and who is viewing right now and my doctors are the only people who've seen me without a hat in the past 3 years.
Hey.
I feel special.
High
Let's do that.
High
Absolutely honored. Absolutely honored.
100%. What a time. And a shocker that is not shocking to anyone. Juice is running late. We started the show in typical What the Show fashion. And yes, welcome Jader back to the internet.
Thank you.
Oh, this is the internet. We're
It's
here.
been a while. It honestly, I think the last time I was on the internet was with you, actually, when we did the Con Air trivia. That was honestly the last time I did anything.
Iconic.
Wow.
So it has come full circle, and it's been great.
Absolutely iconic. Luna got to go to her first trivia.
Last
night. Not really great at helping come up with answers, but what a great team mascot. She was very cute, very beloved. The trivia host seemed to be really smitten with her, and I was hoping it could get us some extra points.
Little points in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alas, it did not seem to help us, but I'm still overall proud with how we did, all things considered.
Nice. What was it?
And she's still a last, so.
So one of my two jobs does trivia on Tuesday nights. So
Yeah.
Bethany came down with her coworkers for the first time to give it a shot.
Got to see
Nice.
Mike. He took excellent care of us. Luna was very excited because she got to see her daddy. And
Nice.
yeah, we answered trivia. It is a general trivia. I would have probably fared slightly better if it had leaned slightly more pop culture.
But what was the first question?
There was, oh my God, the first question, I was like, child's play. And the thing that really concerned me is, again, I was there with 3 friends and I was the only one who knew this. And I was like, y'all, this is not a hard question. There were hard questions asked in this trivia, but as far as like pop culture, obviously all of us like coming from the Schmodown community, this was a laughable question, which was raised on Tatooine by his uncle Owen, who took down the first Death Star.
Interesting.
Literally,
My God.
They all
Interesting.
looked at me like they would never know this. And I was like, y'all, this is the easiest Star Wars question in the history of Star Wars questions. She lists off the rounds, and each round she tells you the category. Like, there's going to be 4 questions. These are your categories. So it's just Star Wars. And I was like, oh, slay, let's go. But then in my mind, I'm thinking it's going to be something that like you need Alex Damon to answer. Okay. And I'm like, oh God, like I'm not prepared for hard Star Wars trivia. Like I know like the, softball, medium balls and medium balls. And then she hits me with, again, literally child's play. And yes, it was about child's play. No, the easiest question I've ever been asked about Star Wars. And I was like, I'm feeling great. And she pulled me into like a false sense of security of like how the rest of this trivia match was going to play out. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
They did good. There was 11 teams. I think you finished 5th or 6th. So it wasn't like you were
We did pretty good. We were pretty
I would be proud. I would be proud.
All
I actually
considered.
the week that I moved to Orlando, which sucks that you guys are not here no more. Right?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, oh, sure, Jader moves to Orlando now that we don't live there. Whatever.
Yeah. So I was looking different things to do. I'm here alone. Like I have a roommate, but I barely see her. She's a nurse. She works at all hours
Crazy hours.
every day. Yeah, so I don't see her ever. So I'm like, look, and I guess you know how they're always listening, right? All of a sudden, just things to do in Orlando started popping up on my Instagram, and one of them was actually a trivia night for Scream only, the movie Scream, like the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm like,
Was this
yeah,
at Player One by
Yeah.
any chance?
no, I have yet to go there actually.
Because
you gotta
they
go there.
do a lot of like.
His stuff is hard.
It is really hard, but he does a lot of like it'll be like The Simpsons, Friends, like it is just one specific topic trivia, which I think
Gotcha.
The
I've been
Simpsons
seeing a lot of
trivia.
it pop up for. I think there's a Back to the Future one coming at Player One, and I want to go to that one.
Player One is so fun. You'll really.
Yeah.
It's
I had a friend bartender for a little bit. She told me
Yeah.
she still lives here, and she told me to check it out. I haven't gone. I've been to only places besides that place. I think that place was called the Conduit, if I'm not
Oh, I've heard of
mistaken.
it. Yeah.
I've heard of that.
So yeah, they have actual shows there, like like local metal shows or whatever. But anyways, I was walking downstairs and she's like, "Where you going?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's just some trivia stuff that I'm just gonna go do." She's like, "Well, fuck it, I'll join you." And I'm like, "Okay." And then she told a friend. So it ended up being four of us.
Okay.
And the girl was there. The host was there. She was introducing herself, saying the rules, what blah blah blah. And same thing. I missed one question, and so pretty good. I ended up fighting for it and everyone that I've talked to answered the question the way she wanted to answer the question, but I guess my brain worked differently. But the question that I missed was, who calls Sydney in the first Scream? Who calls Sydney while she was at Tatum's house?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it
You know,
Stewie or is it-
Exactly.
It's
Who?
Billy.
So there you go. Billy was the answer. I said it was Stu because
Okay.
Billy was in jail, which makes sense. I know that she ended up, but the thing was that, oh, no, I'm lying to you. The question was, who did Billy say he called? And he says he calls his father. That's what it was.
Mm.
He's like, I called my father. And then she's like, yeah, he says he calls the father, but he really called Sydney. And that's how I missed that question. I'm like, that's not what he says in the movie.
Right.
By the way,
but
I just
yeah.
want to throw it out to my my new hire, Alex, right now, because the other day at work, he tossed the phone at me and I let it hit me while it was ringing because like I was the manager on duty. You just like grabbed the phone, tossed it over to me. I let it hit me so I could say, "You hit me with the phone, you dick."
You
I
dick.
grabbed the phone.
Nice.
Yes,
I
You just
just
really
read-
wanted to set up getting a quote that.
well played. Well played.
So Scream is
And then I transferred to customer service voice.
That's funny.
Scream is on the speculation map for Halloween Horror Nights.
I'm so hyped
which
that that's true.
Nothing has been confirmed, but keeping like that's a
Is
house.
that already?
That's one I would go.
You have my obsession with that film is unreal. Yes, it is. So is Terrifier, which should be exciting.
Are
I
they
think that's
doing like OG Scream?
That it's not
Or is it
specified yet.
like-
It's just
okay.
I
speculation. right now.
honestly like I just want all the memorabilia that they're gonna have
Mm.
like for Horror Nights. So
Yeah.
anything if I see anything with Ghostface and Universal.
Sold.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. So no, I know that's one of the houses. I think Fallout is another one that they're
Fallout
rumoring.
and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at
none of this
Freddy's.
is official, but
I feel like they have teased Five Nights at Freddy's last like 3 years. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Not like
No.
that would really sway me either way, but
Me neither. Honestly, it's not my thing. It's
Yeah.
never my thing. It is my little brother's thing in the movie. When that movie came out, I thought we were gonna watch it in the theater, but he was like, no, let's just watch it here.
On Peacock, yeah.
He's like, it's right here. I'm so glad I didn't see that movie. I wasn't a fan, but I all the references went over my head.
yeah.
I was happy to see Matthew Lillard in the movie
Yep.
because anything that he's in, I'm very happy for. But the movie itself just didn't do anything for me. There you go.
By the way,
but yeah.
like from our people in the chat, like guys, we can put groups together and let's do this. Just throwing it out there.
We can do what?
Do what?
William, Lego, Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh.
I was like, what? I should have guessed. That's what
If
we were
there's
literally talking
Terrifier.
about.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just saying we have a really great
Yes.
time. This is the one rule, though. If you go to, well, there's 2 rules if you go to Horror Nights with us. 1, you have to do boy dinner at some point. Rule number 2, we have a back and forth call if you get lost in a crowd. So if you lose each other in a crowd, you have to scream out if you feel it, and then whoever is lost
Chase
yells,
it.
Chase
to each other. I really think we need to get shirts this year. I'm really pulling for the shirts this year. Does Twister?
I will wear my cowboy hat.
You should.
So Jader and I have gone to Horror Nights, and yes, we did have boy
See,
dinner. Boy dinner.
William's ready. He's
Yeah.
already yelling, chase it.
Boy dinner is going to Duff Gardens and drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
Yeah, that's what
Oh, we did that. We definitely did that.
boy dinner.
Yeah, that was great. That was a good time.
And if you don't drink, they have corn dogs. Like, just have copious amounts of corn dogs.
You can get
'cause-
the Flaming Moe is actually non-alcoholic, so you can still
This is true.
partake.
You can partake.
Yeah,
If you're
and,
skinny,
you know-
can kind of show up, and then you're like, "Wow, boy dinner's taking a long time. I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go ride Men in Black."
Yeah.
And then you show back up.
Because
and
Men
there's
in Black
still
is
boy dinner.
Men in Black
is
has
open all
become
night long.
Men in Black has been my obsession.
The
I-
more you go,
I
The more it
before
is.
going to work will go to Universal just to ride Men in Black. I will ride it twice or 3 times and get my ass to work because I work 5 minutes from Universal.
See?
I work in Dr.
Yes.
Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's-
So
yeah.
I'll just do that. And then sometimes when I see a lot of traffic to go home on West Sand Lake, I'm like, no. And I'll go around,
We're just
get the,
gonna ride
I'll
Men in
go to the
Black.
park and I'll stay there till park close and then I'll come home to like
Nice.
avoid traffic. It is amazing. I
Aw.
love being so
I
close.
love that.
have you
Yeah.
gone to the whiskey in Dr. Phillips? That's a cool.
I
place.
work right in front of the whiskey.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
I walk sometimes when was it? Not too long ago. I don't remember when I went. Sometime last week. I just went with one of my coworkers. He's like, down for a beer? And I was like, we ended up I've been there twice, and then I saw some live band. Apparently they have a live band every night. I didn't know that.
Okay.
I thought it was just weekends. It's every single night they have someone playing. But their
Sweet.
burgers are actually really, really good. So
It's Dr. Phillips, how late is this place open? Why have you not taken me there, guys?
Dr.
Because
Phillips is the area.
Yeah.
because we were at Sloppy Taco Palace every night.
Because we go to
Okay.
STP.
I get that because $2 PBRs.
Oh yeah, no. Whiskey's expensive.
Yes, whiskey.
Like
is
that place.
not-
That place is expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
they
good.
they have some phenomenal
Their burgers, man.
whiskeys there. Like their whiskey selection is fantastic.
Oh yeah. I had actually. You know what? The last time I went, the guy butchered my old fashioned.
Oh,
I was
no.
a little pissed off
Yeah.
about that. And I was seeing him make it, and I was like, but I wasn't that guy. I just
What
Took it
kind
to
of
the
shit did he
face and-
do?
dude, just the way he didn't fucking mix it. It just sucked. He shook it. That's another thing that he did.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
No, you
Not
don't do
old-fashioned.
that.
No.
He shook it, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
What's
So
wrong
this
with
day, the best
Okay.
old fashioned I've ever had, chocolate emporium.
Tusa?
Yep.
Is there a Tusa? I'm telling
The
you.
revolutionary
Till this
old
day,
fashioned.
he introduced me to that, and that has been by far
Revolutionary.
the best old fashioned. And
It
you
is-
were
it is
a
really cool.
lovely, lovely, lovely
I got
server
you
that
that,
day. Thank you.
and I got Ben Bateman that too like, when I took him there.
So-
So
and
Oh,
it-
yeah?
and it's pretty much the,
Yeah.
the drink we do always point out to people. We're like, do you like old fashioned?
yeah, you like old fashions? This is phenomenal.
That's been the best one. I've gone
Sir.
straight up. I was like, hey, I just want to go to the bar, get a quick drink. I'm not sitting there. They're like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Boom, order it, right out. It's the
Go ride
best.
Men in Black. Good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a night well done right there. Speaking of old fashions, this is related but not related. I had a 13-year-old patient the other day wearing a shirt that clearly was like an old fashioned, and it said, "Call me old fashioned." And I just thought it was weird that a 13-year-old was wearing this because I was like, okay. Especially because I think of old fashions as being like a dignified drink, like someone who's like, been drinking for years drinks an old fashioned, not like a kid
Sure.
who's like sneaking alcohol. Justin the Juice. Oh, Jeff Alterman in the house.
Jeff Alterman with a J.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's up, Jeter?
Left-handed.
What's up, dude?
Jeff
How are you,
Alterman.
man?
Yeah. So good.
You're looking like Caleb from
So good, I can't even
fucking
log in.
Beartooth, dude.
A little bit.
Right?
Okay.
You returned from your journeys in Philadelphia, where you saw such relics as a payphone and the Liberty Bell. I liked that.
100%. It was fantastic.
It looked like a good time. Did the Rocky steps, all
Yeah.
that jazz. When in Rome, you have to.
My friend Austin and I ran the Rocky Steps. I would have beat him, except like a family got in my way.
Oh no!
I had to like dip and tuck, but like he understood. Like, yeah, you probably would have beat me if the family didn't get in your way. Right.
Were you winded? I feel like I would have been winded.
We weren't gonna run it again. It was like
I was like, do over.
We tried.
Do the do over.
Yeah, it was like nope.
We did it. Proud of us. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have something because you're the bartender in residence. Because Jader just mentioned a shaken old fashioned, how bad that can be. But if you are a few cocktails in and you still want an old fashioned, and that bartender is really good, you can ask him for an old fashioned and make it skate.
Make it skate?
Yes.
What does that mean?
You know what that is?
No.
That's you don't double strain. You shake it like a martini, but you don't strain it like a martini, and you let the ice chips go through it.
Okay, yeah. I get
And you
what
have
you're saying.
ice chips in your old fashioned. And it's actually
good?
really like if you're already drunk
Very
and you
chill.
need an old fashioned, but you can't take an old fashioned. Oh my god, it's so clutch. And not to say that like so many people have been there before, but I've been there before.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like everyone
In that case, I'll allow it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I make it skate them like if I ever have a martini every time.
I've never had that before.
Yeah, Jane Fonda, she was right about a lot of things, like being anti-war. But the workout, I don't know if she was on to that. She was probably wrong about that.
My mother had the Jane Fonda workout when I on like a VHS that she played several times a day.
Any distinguished boomer
Yeah.
had to have the Jane Fonda workout tape. Let's be honest.
My mom had a Suzanne Summers one.
Yes.
Okay,
Suzanne.
That's the one my mom had. Yeah.
The Suzanne Summers one was with the what was it called?
The both not Bowflex.
It was the one with the legs. It was like
it was like the leg thing. Yeah.
What was the name of it?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking. I like that we're all
Yeah, it's that blue thing with the red ball in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
My mom had that.
It had a name. Hold on.
I used to do it as a kid too. Like I would like, but yeah, my mom all the time.
That's hilarious.
Funny.
I see.
I did want to swing back for one thing. Jader's been to Epic Universe. Like
It's a thigh master.
master. Yep.
Thigh Master. Yes, I have been to Epic, guys. I went, I saw, I semi-conquered. I couldn't do Battle at the Ministry. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I know plenty of team members that haven't done it,
Yeah.
like that I've met here. So it literally is. There apparently there was a trick to it, but they're not doing them now. They're like that ride is permanently closed until it opens on the 22nd.
Next week.
Yeah. But it for me, like I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's a great park. Especially if you love theme parks, you're just gonna be. It's so immersive, but it's tiny. I feel like it's maybe the size of islands, or maybe even a little smaller.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
it's a place you can definitely
areas.
Yeah, because it's again, and I didn't realize that it's only 4 portals.
Yeah.
Right. They're building more because when I went on Stardust and you're all the way up there, you see all the construction.
All the, like,
So they're definitely building more. And I couldn't do battle, and I couldn't do the only other thing I missed was Donkey Kong. I couldn't ride my kart. It was down 60% of the day. I got there as soon as they allowed us to go in, and I stayed there till close. And I
Did
went
you meet Toothless?
Yes and no. So no, I didn't make the line, but I did see him.
But you saw him.
I did see him. He was out. It's beautiful. But it was really hot, and the queue is outside. There's no shade, right?
I think that line is just going to be forever long.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? Seeing how it was when I was there versus how it got, I should have just made the line because it was way shorter when I passed. But the Untrainable Dragon was just starting, and I really wanted to see that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I'll come back to see Toothless. But I feel like I did everything in Olive Burke, with the exception of Toothless. But I ate there. I had the cone, the PB&J cone, and all that. So I had that. I rode. I feel like they mixed up the names of the ride because they have Hiccups Wing Gliders as the coaster, and then Dragon Rally Racers as the one that glides. So I felt like the names should have been swapped out. Yeah, but Burke was great. I did everything there in Nintendo Land. That for me was the most impressive thing they did.
My parents said the exact same thing.
It's out of hand because the thing is that they did that portal so well because you can't see anything from the outside. And as you're walking in and you're doing the thing, right? You finally get there, you finally see it. Well, now, mind you, we've all seen pictures, Japan, Hollywood, it's there. But seeing it for the first time in person is
like in person, yeah.
It really is. It's incredible. I feel like you need the Magic Band to really enjoy everything they have to offer. Because since I didn't have that, there was a lot of things that I'm like I wanted to see, but I couldn't because I didn't have the band. And I went straight to the ride. I did Mario Kart, which was the longest wait when I went. It was a 70-minute wait. Other than that, everything else was practically like jump on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got really lucky when I went. And I went on May 3rd. I heard like May 5th or 6th. No, not the 5th. But May 7th.
The disaster
Everything just disaster. Yeah.
I saw plenty of reports on that. Pretty much anybody who was there on May 7th, if they stopped by customer to guest relations, got a pass to come back that day.
Yeah. No, it was pretty bad. I felt lucky, like I said, because I went on a Saturday and I thought, I'm like, man, and they opened it to the public. So I'm like, oh no, like no offense or anything like that, but the purpose of getting that
preview.
That preview was to avoid the lines. Now, when I went into Super Nintendo Lands, the abundance of people that were, because it's the first portal, so everybody went left instead of going right to Burke, and everybody I felt was in there. It was overwhelming. It was completely overwhelming. I'm like, oh my god! And I went straight to ride Donkey Kong, but it was closed. So then I went back. I did Mario Kart, but then there was nothing else to do. So I'm like, let's go to Burke. So we went to Burke. And we did everything there. Got to Stardust, wrote that. That actually, like, who I was with got really sick on Stardust.
Oh no!
Hated it.
It just
hated it. Yeah.
It makes, I don't know, the entire aspect of, oh yeah, Mario is going to be flooded. We are in the year of our Lord 2025. And I think that Mario has as much generational pull as Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Nintendo is like such a big deal.
It's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Just you're right, 100% right, AJ. Like there's very few things I can think of at this point, like just jogging my, that have the
worldwide
from like age 2 to age 92 that would equally know the property,
the amount of merch that Universal,
which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy compared to 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Mario is dirt. Mario is dirt. Mario is.
And it's the thing, like 20 years ago,
the nerds,
my mom is
nerds.
not a grandma, but like she's like she's like, that's cool as a middle-aged woman. But like, you don't have people who have grandchildren who are excited to do that with them. You don't have that cross 4 sometimes generations. I think that like Mario is gonna like absorb the parks, like if it goes this well.
Yeah, it will. It will.
No, it will.
No, everyone like I know.
Excuse me.
Like I have that. Like I know when I was a kid, nobody knew Mario. Nobody knew Nintendo. Like Nintendo was weird and nerdy and whatever. But like looking at all the people a little bit older than me that have kids that are growing up, they're all in love with Mario, which is crazy.
My son is
like
counting
down. Mario is just huge.
Yeah.
Mario is bigger now than ever. And that's crazy.
He counted. He called me the next day after I went. He called me the morning of, and he wanted to FaceTime me, but I wasn't there yet. And then he called me the next morning, and he was like, "I want to see Epic," and I was like, "No." I was like, you have to see it in person. I'm like, I'm not gonna show you pictures. Just know that it's awesome. You're gonna love it. We're gonna have a good time. We're going in July.
Like Mario wise though, I do have a question, and every time that I post this to my co-host, which I mean we could say it's been 6-7 times, guys. Which do you think would taste better? Okay, you take Yoshi, right? And you chop up the leg and you do it like oxtail, or you do like the cheek and you do like cabeza tacos. Like,
I'm a sucker for oxtail, bro. I'd probably go for the oxtail. If we're being honest.
This is actually the first time I posed this question. I just fucking hate that green bitch.
He just really hates Yoshi. And
why?
This is why we're getting him lots of Yoshi merch.
Jesus Christ. You shouldn't have never told me.
I conditioned myself accidentally to hate Yoshi. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Can I know why?
Like long-term psychological. I just took a smug. I saw a picture of Yoshi looking smug with his green dinosaur face, and I was like, that motherfucker's going on the villains bracket, and I called him the chartreuse charlatan, and it stuck. And like I have like literally like I see pictures of Yoshi, I get mad.
Yeah,
don't go to that park.
This is at least 3 years. Like we might be going on 4 at this point.
4 years? It's been years. This bit has been running.
This whole thing
just started as a bit, but AJ like convinced himself. Truly, I think that he hates him.
Wow.
It's on the level of the Stanford prisoners experiment. It's like that.
I really think someone should be studying.
Insane. But yeah,
of all the reasons I should be studied, it's at least 3rd.
You are a 5-year dual semester study, AJ.
AJ Lancaster, Enigma.
That's what you're doing. I'm pretty convinced.
Insane. But yeah.
I swear.
But yeah, so Stardust is if Hulk and Velocicoaster
now,
had a baby.
In your humble opinion, do you think someone who can handle Velocicoaster can handle this, or is it more intense?
Okay. So I think Velocicoaster is very, very smooth, and I still think it's the queen. I don't want to say king. It's the queen coaster of all parks till this day. Even after riding Stardust, I still like Velocicoaster more.
Okay.
Stardust is really rough in certain areas that I love riding everything, right? There was a part where you're blasting, but then it goes on hills.
Yeah.
And it feels gross.
Okay.
I hated that part. Everything else was pretty cool. And then that was on the yellow one, which is the least intense one. But I felt a little sicker on the, not sick. I don't want to say sick. I didn't get sick, but a little crazy. Like Queasy on that little section. Mind you, it's a little part. It's maybe like 5 seconds of the ride, but it sucked. And then I immediately, since you can get on the ride right off, like you have to exit the full queue and do the whole queue again, but there was no one there. So I rode green, and I rode that one on the first row. The yellow one I rode like row 5. I rode the more intense one in the front, and the green one had a same little similar area, but it's way more like apart. So instead of going like this, it goes like that, right?
Yeah.
I get you.
I like the green is more intense on the parts where it kind of like duels together.
Okay.
Really, really cool stuff.
Also, if you're in the front row by design, the front row tends to be the smoother ride.
The smoother, exactly. So overall, so I think yes, you can, to answer your question. It's just a little bit like if you can do Hulk, you can do this one.
Okay.
But Hulk tends to like kick people's asses here and then.
Yes.
So
it's so weird with me and Hulk. I used to love Hulk. And then obviously before it got refurbished, it was kind of beating people up. And then they refurbished it. And I was like, oh yeah, it's smoother now and whatever. But then I don't know if it's the restraints or what, but I sometimes get like a little bit of a headache from it. So it's not something I often do anymore,
all the time.
which is unfortunate because I used to love it. But yeah, I don't know. Some of those old, like the B&Ms of the late 90s, which are like the roller coasters I grew up with and I love with like a passion, they just like, I can't do them anymore for some reason.
I did Space Mountain on Monday.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done that ride in maybe like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And it whooped my ass.
Yeah.
It
beats you up.
That is my least favorite seating on a roller coaster.
It's literally like you feel like you like are bruised by the time you get
I know, and I had just went to Casey's Corner, ate a foot long, and then decided I was with friends, so we were friends, and we had Lightning Lane, and it popped up, and she's like, "Dude, we can do it right now." So we all went to Space Mountain, and I felt like shit afterwards, and I'm like, "Man, this sucks." I'm like, I hate this ride now. But if I have to, what was I gonna say? If I have to like applaud and gloat about anything in that park besides Super Nintendo like Land, is the Monsters Unchained ride.
Yeah, that's the one everyone's been hyping up.
It's fantastic, but I don't want to hype it up too much. That's the thing. So that's what happened to me. As amazing, I felt like it is being a little overhyped, even though I still rated like a 10 out of 10. It is a fantastic ride. It was more of a 10 out of 10 for me because there were a lot more surprises than I knew there was going to be, right? And there was a lot more animatronics than I thought there were going to be. And the way they do the screens versus the animatronics, it's bar none. It's great. It doesn't get you dizzy or anything like that. It has how the ride works, right?
Because it's similar to
Forbidden Journey.
Yes, okay. But you don't feel as queasy because sometimes Forbidden Journey
at all. Yeah, no. Again, that's another one for me that with time, as I've gotten older, has kicked my ass even more now. So yeah, like I'll get off and I'm like, it'll take me like a good.
Concern with Monsters was knowing that it was a similar ride system to Forbidden Journey, and I was like, oh.
You won't. I promise you. They've mastered it.
Years later.
They've mastered it. One thing that I kept hearing that it was terrifying and the most, obviously it is by default the scariest ride they have ever done. And then they were like, oh, some kids won't be able to handle. It's fine. It's a PG-13 haunted mansion.
Right.
Like it's fine. People were exaggerating, and I'm like, man, my kids can do this shit, no problem. but my kids are also like horror freaks. Yeah, but I was like, I didn't find it. I didn't have like, I didn't get scared at all. There was a couple cool jump scares like that. They were purpose, like that's a jump scare, but again, not for me. But I've heard some coworkers did tell me that like, yeah, that shit scared the shit out of me. So I guess it depends on you. But that whole area, I wish I had been there more. I was so gun ho with getting the queue for Harry Potter. Yeah. That I stayed way too long in that area.
Gotcha.
That I basically had to run, get on the ride, got on Curse of the Werewolf, and then like kind of like bailed to try to do Donkey Kong again. So I wasn't there for too long, but just walking the area, just I got there like around park closed at 9. I got there like around 7:45. It felt like Horror Nights by the time I got there, which was really, really
I
cool.
feel like that's like the vibe to do Dark Universe, like in the evening.
I wanted to go there first because that was my most anticipated ride in area, but I was very patient because I'm like, let's do this ride. Let's do it. Yeah.
Quick BRB. I'll be right back.
Yep. I was gonna say I met Jader's kids 5 years ago, and even back then they were already kind of like, hey, let's watch this horror movie.
Yeah, no, it's gotten worse, man. It's gotten worse. They're just trying to. I still try to keep them with the slashers. I don't try to show them anything too crazy, but they've gone through the what are we seeing? The Conjuring universe. They've seen Halloween's.
Oh, they're so much different than I am.
Yeah, they've seen Scream. The one movie that I can tell you that scared the shit out of both of them, Adrian did not even watch 20 minutes of it. He was like, he tapped out in the first 10. He's like, nope, not for me. Went to bed. Ari saw the whole thing. And the movie ended, and she's like, okay, we're sleeping with the lights on, and I'm not watching part 2. It was It.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of them.
Man. I feel that.
Even the TV version of It, when that was
traumatized for life.
The TV version I saw on VHS, and the first half, just the first VHS of that will creep the hell out of you.
Yeah, I think everyone that grew up then, because that movie scared the shit out of me. And I watch it now, and I'm like, I can't believe this shit scared me.
Right, it's definitely a product. What was that, like the late
product
80s,
of its time?
early 90s?
It's 1990, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So yeah, it's that shower scene for me, where the drain stretches and he comes out. I will never forget that. I always thought every time I turn on the freaking shower, there it was.
Why is this coming for me?
There it was.
Oh, that's
we're gonna do I Know What You Did Last Summer. They're coming up. They're coming up next week. Since the new one's coming out, she saw the trailer. Ari saw the trailer, and she's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh man, I kind of skipped that one." And I'm like, "I'll show you." But then I have to see Jamaican Jack Black for the sequel. It's pretty bad. Well, Dread, not Jamaican, right? It's White Dread, Jack Black.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they're good. They love that I live here. They love that I'm close to home. Obviously, I'm a bright line away now versus a whole plane ride.
Right.
I was telling Mike that Adrian's going to his first concert because he's a huge Metallica fan.
Oh, is he going to Tampa?
We're going both nights. He's huge on Ice Nine Kills.
That'll be the first band he sees. That'll be the very first band he sees live then.
Yeah, so he's gonna see Ice Nine. He loves Pantera. I haven't introduced him to Suicidal Tendencies.
You have so much.
I got to do a little homework for him because he asked me who's playing that night. I told him gave him all that. Limp Bizkit is one that he hasn't really listened to either. He's kind of built his own not style, but he'll call me and he'll be like, "Dad, have you heard of this band called Korn?" I was like, "Yes, man."
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
familiar.
My nephew is the same way though. He's 12.
13?
12 or 13. I'm terrible at ages.
He really is.
But same thing. He found Metallica, and I told him a couple bands. He really likes Suicidal now.
Nice.
I get that reference.
Really got for Christmas. I actually got him the Suicidal hat, which he every time I've seen him ever since has had.
He's wearing it. So that's Adrian right now with all the band tees. So he's like the GNRs. He loves his Slipknot shirts. But he's really, you know what band he discovered on his own? And I was like, damn, I'm pretty proud that you went this deep. He discovered Machine Head.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite bands. So
yeah, and he's really into them now. He's really into Machine Head. So Machine Head, Metallica's his number one by far. He loves them. So I'm really happy that it's gonna be his first show. I've been kind of like holding off on taking him because there was I know tonight Stained and Breaking Benjamin they were here in Tampa yesterday, but they're in West Palm tonight. And I could have switched to go, but I refused to take him to a show before Metallica.
Yeah.
So
So I could like be his big first one.
So yeah, I want that to be his first show. Rockville's this week was Rockville starts tomorrow. I might go Sunday, and he doesn't have school on Monday, I think, or something like that. And I could have taken him to Rockville, but I again refuse to take him until
and
he
Rockville's a
goes.
little overwhelming for a first.
It is, and that's what his mom said. She's like, "You're crazy." She made me show her the tickets for Metallica before I was able to give it to him. She's like, because she knows that I get pits all the time. I always get pit, but I wouldn't get pit for that show ever again, because it sucked when I saw him in Dallas.
The stage is terrible.
The stage sucks for the pit. You have to have seats. You have to have seats for that show.
And I can tell you this straightforward, like, you're better off being a little bit higher in the seats. Like, the 100 levels are not that good.
Yeah,
like,
no.
The higher seats are a little.
No,
bit
I ended
better.
up getting club level 200 for him because
I'm also
felt
in
like
club level first Tampa.
nice.
We might be near each other.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But
Reunion.
Oh, you know,
I already got the money. I already know I'm gonna want to get him his first shirt, obviously his first tour shirt. So, but he's hyped, man. He's really hyped. He's really, like I said, he's really into Ice Nine and he's really into Metallica. What up? Yeah, and he's really into Pantera, and I haven't seen Pantera, so I'm really hyped about that too. And I'd never seen Biscuit, and they were like kind of what got me into rock. So for me, it's like that the teenage me is very hyped to see Limp Bizkit. Did I tell you about my Limp Bizkit story? So they announced it about, I want to say like 2 years ago, they were touring again. After like the long hiatus, or 4 years, it might have been like 4 years now. So my one of my best friends calls me and he's like, "Dude, they're coming to the Hard Rock. Let's go. He's like, I never got to see him when we were younger." I'm like, "Oh, let's go." We all buy tickets. We all super hyped about the show. It's at the Hard Rock Hotel. We show up. We're going downstairs, and I get a text from a friend of mine, and she's like, "Hey, dude, the show got canceled." And I'm like, and we were already there. And I'm like, "Oh, bullshit." She knew how hyped I was. So I'm like, I'm thinking she's just like BSing me. And I see a bunch of people like booing and getting pissed. I'm like, "Oh, guys, this is real. Like they can't." What happened was whoever booked at the Hard Rock, which I don't know why they would do that, they refused to have moshing, and they refused to. It was just seats only. So there was a no moshing rule and all that stuff. Biscuit got pissed. They started arguing with each other. They canceled the show.
Oh,
yep.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy because it's a Limp Bizkit show. Like, they were known for their riots and their crazy antics and all that stuff. You know,
they have like the most infamous concert of all time. You know, in terms of metal, it's up there. You know, Woodstock '99 is in Woodstock the competition.
You know you want to know what's crazy? My cousin went to that, and he had asked my mom if he can take me, because he knew that Limp Bizkit was my favorite band growing up. I was 13 years old in '99.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom said, "You're crazy. I'm not sending him to a concert. Like, where are you guys going to sleep?" Because my cousin at the time was like 18 years old. And, but yeah, long story short, kind of glad I didn't go. I probably would have died.
Yeah. It seems like, you know. It got intense. Things did not go well. It was not well organized.
Juice, aren't you going to Europe like next year for a festival, or is that this year? Or
I was supposed to be this year. I didn't end up going.
Oh, you didn't wind up going.
Yeah.
Who were you supposed to?
No.
It was like a power metal thing, right?
This is a
Epic Fest. Yeah, Stradivarius.
Ooh.
Stradivarius was one of the main bands. Theocracy in the States was going to be there too. I think I think it was in April.
Oh, so it happened. It has passed.
It's already passed.
It already happened. Yeah.
This week is a rough week to bring up Europe and concerts. Okay, it's the 1 year anniversary. I was in Europe again, going to concerts. So I'm just here.
I don't know if I told you this or not. So AJ's having a little bit of technical difficulties. We don't know if he's going to get back or not.
Sorry, he just.
So we may have an AJ, we may not. We'll find out in a few minutes. But if not, thank you, AJ. I was going to see if Jader or Juice. I don't remember if I told you this, Jader, or not. If I did, then you'll know the answer right away. So Swifty here. I'm trying to introduce her to Metallica, and we're going through and I'm playing a bunch of songs. I start off with mostly their radio hits and some of their softer stuff, thinking maybe that's where we would get the sweet spot. He was
hitting me with some ballads, basically.
Nothing Else Matters, Fade to Black.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You, bro. The Unforgiven, yeah.
What song do you think it was like? She's like, hey, all right, I this.
I started doing my own research because everything he was showing me, I was like, unimpressed.
Really? Damn, I'm gonna give me the album at least.
Definitely not Enter Sandman because I had to listen to that song every day at work. So it's the song I'm least looking for.
And also Walk was on the playlist too. So when we go to that concert, she's like, I don't want to hear either one.
I'm like, great, I get to hear Walk and Enter Sandman. I'm gonna feel the
same night too. Because it's the second night. They're definitely doing it on the second night.
I'm like,
so ours is one night.
Oh, that's right. You're doing one night. That's right.
One night only. So they actually are mashing the sets together for Metallica.
And I'm really sad because
do I have to do deep cut Metallica? Is that?
Well, I will tell you this: if you've seen them on the 2 nights, they play this song on one of the nights, and we just don't know if they're going to do it on the one night show.
It doesn't appear to be happening.
And it is on the album "Kill 'Em All."
Oh wow!
Yes. Fan here.
Are we doing Whiplash or Seek and Destroy?
Yep.
Is it Whiplash?
Whiplash! It's my favorite. I love that song so much.
It's so good.
Why didn't you lead with this? This is a good song.
That is a great song, and it's even funner in the pit. I promise you.
I'm gonna have to figure it on that one.
It's so fun. No man, we were thrashing all around. We were doing circle it was just little circles everywhere. It was so much fun, man.
That one's my favorite. My other favorite, and this is basically because of Horror Nights and because of the show Nightmare Fuel. I really enjoy Fuel because they played that all 3 years.
Oh, and you'll love that as they're playing it live too.
That one's one of my faves.
It's super fun. Yeah, the pyro is great on that.
Everyone likes Monster of Puppets. Yeah, I really Enter Sandman. We have a joke, but it's also a real thing. At concerts that we pick a bathroom break song, what's one song on the set list that you're willing to miss to run to the bathroom real quick?
Get a beer.
And mine would be Enter Sandman, but it's the
last song.
So
that's the last song always.
I was
one song I got in Dallas that I've never heard live, and I think I've seen. I think this is gonna be my 6th time seeing them. But I was very excited. They did Leper Messiah.
Oh yeah.
And I was just so. It was the 3rd song they did, and I was just so happy that they did that because that's one of the ones that I had never gotten.
So this will be Charlotte will be my 34th. I think
crazy.
I think I've only heard Leper 3 or 4 times. So
that's what I'm saying. It's very rare. Not common. I've never gotten Blackened ever. I've never heard that song live ever.
That's not that. They played that in East Rutherford.
Yeah.
On the same tour.
Exactly. Yeah, I need to know the set list so I know when I can have my bathroom break. Really. I am doing it. You can take the Swiftie out of the Eras tour, but you can't take the Eras tour out of the Swiftie. So I am doing themed nails for this concert. I'm making friendship bracelets for the Metallica concert.
That's amazing.
Making friendship bracelets for this concert. And my friend who made me a jacket for
a vest.
She made me a jacket for the last time I went to see the Eras tour in Sweden. She made me this hand painted Reputation jacket. It's the most badass thing I've ever owned. So when I found out we were going to Metallica, I was like, can you make me a vest? Because this is going to be in Charlotte outside. So a jacket's going to be a little warm. So she's making me a vest. She's currently working on it. We went and bought some stuff the other day. We got some studs and and stuff. But yeah, she's the back has like Metallica and then like a guitar on it. It looks pretty cool. So I'm excited to see
Pictures.
But yes, pictures will be taken.
Check the Instagram.
Lots of time and effort is going into this outfit. I was joking around with Mike, like, because we've been watching some like videos of the tour. And of course, like everyone on the ground is just like dressing for comfort because they're like moshing and they're in sweaty bodies and whatever. And so everyone's wearing like shorts and a t-shirt. And I go, everyone really needs to up their fashion game. I was like, I'm so unimpressed with these looks that they are serving.
You want to talk about fashion game? That first night, Dallas traffic is so bad.
Yeah.
And I left. I had no idea it was going to be that bad.
You called me in traffic.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna miss. I was so pissed. I was so pissed. But we get there. It's AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play. It's huge, right? Right next to the stadium. Right next to the stadium is where the Rangers play, and there was a Rangers game at the same time.
Jesus, that was the stupid scheduling.
It was so stupid. So we get there. My brother is like, dude, go catch whatever you can because you can hear the music.
Yeah.
He's like, catch whatever you can. I'll park the car, like super MVP. I get out, I'm running. Like I feel like 700 flights of stairs. And me and my brother somehow, because they're like, no, your entrance is this way. So I had to go around, right? Climb more stairs. Me and my brother kind of get there at the same time. He parked and everything. And all I hear is like the final couple of notes and strings of Cowboys from Hell. They have Pantera grabs like their hands. They do the bow. They're like, thank you, Arlington, because it was in Arlington. And they're like, thank you so much, Arlington. Good night. They get off stage. As that is happening, I am wearing a Pantera shirt because it was going to be my first time seeing Pantera. And everybody comes up to me like, they just killed it, man. They rocked. And I was like,
You're like, yeah.
All night, everybody's like, fucking Pantera rocked. And I was like, I didn't fucking see that. It was the worst. I wanted to take my shirt off. I wanted to cry. But yeah. So Adrian is very he's excited. He knows I've missed Pantera. So he's like, Dad, we gotta get to the stadium like 4 hours early. He's like, we're not missing Pantera. I was like, we're not gonna miss Pantera. I promise you, we're not gonna miss Pantera.
I swear. We're getting there on time.
So quick update. Juice's internet went down, so he is trying to reboot.
I was like, we are dropping like
both of them?
Peter, actually, you're just gonna be on by yourself soon. We're gonna let you run it. We're gonna
really the one-man show over here now.
I was like, what is happening?
So when we went to East Rutherford, I was with AJ and the Danuzios, and we had an Airbnb that was a couple miles away from the stadium, wasn't that far. And we knew we were supposed to go meet up with John Hoey to tailgate a little bit before the show. So we got there. We got to the stadium at like 3 for the show that started at like 6. We were there like
I wish.
Wild.
I fucked up.
The spiral marketing campaign they're doing, y'all.
That's hilarious.
So anyway, we got there, and so obviously we were in there in plenty of time. Paul really wanted to see Mammoth, because he's a big Van Halen guy.
I missed him too.
So yeah, we saw all of them, and then obviously I literally went to the concourse outside to because our friend Joe Mariano was out. We knew he was on the same level as us, but he was on the other side. So we had to go like kind of meet like in the concourse. And we went, got a picture, talked to him for like 10 minutes. And all of a sudden I hear the intro for Pantera. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's this quick. Like it was like 15 minutes, not even between the set changes. And I missed the beginning of New Level, but like Paul and I
open with a New Level.
Yeah,
that's great. Fuck, that's great.
So Paul, Paul and I went to go grab a beer right after we said goodbye to John, and that's when the intro came on because we didn't stay with John for that. We were with John for maybe 5 minutes.
My bad. Did they do New Level and Mouth for War? Like they switched it
back to back. That was the first song.
Okay.
I agree with you. It should be the other way.
It should be the other way. Okay.
Yeah. So Robert, I don't know if you've ever seen the way this stage is. It's a donut. It's a fucking donut. So they have the various drum kits spread out throughout the stage. Pantera actually has 2 of them. They switch. halfway through. But so they literally just tore Mammoth Set down and had to throw Pantera's pyro towers up, and it was set up. So they were pretty much all set. And even Metallica, who historically takes an hour between the support band to when they go on, only took like a half hour. So
yeah, they were pretty fast. I felt like I didn't wait that long either.
Yeah, so it was. You would have figured because the East Rutherford show was the first night of the U.S. tour, so we didn't have the internet telling us.
Yeah, of course, what's gonna happen? Of course,
Which this hater, this doubter over here, I was like, I hope they play Whiplash, and he's like, I don't think they're gonna play Whiplash, and I was like, it's a 2-night show. One of the nights I think they're gonna play Whiplash, and then literally the very first song of night two
of the second night,
I was like, told you.
I think the second night, the first 3 songs, they just hit us with greatness because it was Whiplash, I think For Whom the Bells Toll, and Ride the Lightning.
That was the same 3 we got
back to back, and my body couldn't take it at all. But it was so great.
I like For Whom the Bells Toll. That's a good one.
You're getting that.
Yeah, you're definitely getting that. Yeah,
so,
but
we're trying to figure out because they're obviously Charlotte is one night. They're not doing it over 2. So we've been like, it looks like they've done two cities so far on the tour that are one night, and it looks like they've only changed one song. So we're like, all right, it seems like that's the set we're getting mostly. They might change something, you never know. But we kind of have an idea of what it is. But they've been opening with Creeping Death now. We Whiplash on those shows.
That's what we got the first night as well.
Yeah.
So when I saw them in Dallas, and that's when they did the whole movie theater.
Yes, my dad went and saw it in the movie theater. Yeah,
in the movie theater. So there was cameras everywhere. There were like signs everywhere. You will be on video, all that stuff. So it was cool. But when the show opened, because I had gotten there late, remember? So we just picked a spot and we're like, all right, here's fine, and then whatever. They start with Creeping Death, and Lars pops up right in front of us. So we had him like right in the beginning. What sucked was that they started moving, and the rest of the show, I had to see through the screens that they had.
The floor is not the place to be for the donut.
Not for that, man. Unless you're in the snake pit.
Yeah, but you're still on a swivel. You still have to have your head on a swivel if you're in there. You can't just be looking at one place because the way that.
Now, one of the coolest things I've seen with the snake pit was when Jason Momoa was moshing with everybody in there.
I showed you that, right?
That was pretty cool.
Jason is alleged.
Yeah, I feel like we'd be like best friends because he loves Guinness and Metallica like me, and I'm like, this is the best.
We saw him at MegaCon in Orlando a few years back, and he had to cancel the day before, so he consolidated all of his photo ops into one day, and his line was monstrous because he was probably taking pictures for like 2 hours, and that's like 10 seconds a picture. But before his time came up, we were in line to meet Billy D. Williams and Jonas Suotama. And
nice.
So we can actually see we're waiting, and our line was not that long. But then all of a sudden we hear this big cheer, and from the back of the line forward, Momoa with his 2 security guards, who he towered over.
I have a story about that too.
He went and high-fived every single person in that line.
Like, thank you so much for waiting. From the back. Thank you so much. Sorry about yesterday, and was just like going through and like thanking everyone for their patience.
That's badass.
At the time, we're very like 50-50 on if we were going to go see Aquaman 2 because we didn't love the first one, and then we saw him do that, and we're like, we have to go support him.
You have to support it.
And we went to Aquaman 2 basically for that reason. We're like, well, we like Jason Momoa. He's a good guy.
I saw that movie, and I can't tell you a thing about it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No recollection.
The first one, I think it's decent. I think it's pretty solid, to be completely honest.
It's better than
of the DCE movies. It's one of the better ones.
It's one of the better ones. So that the first one I liked a lot. I'm not again, it might be controversial or whatever, but I can't stand Amber Heard for all the bullshit. Yeah. So I'm just she still has a lot of defenders, but so I was kind of like hoping they'd recast her. They didn't, but they obviously, you could tell they just cut the shit out of her scenes.
Yeah.
But no. So funny enough, walking out, this was about two years ago, right? I moved 2 years ago. So 3 years ago, I was leaving Men in Black, walking towards Simpsons,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just not looking, and I hear Adrian go, "Hey, that's Drax," and I turn around, and
Yes. You-
It is
it's
Batista.
Dave Bautista.
That's cool.
Huge. So when my son says that, I turn around and he kind of just gives the peace sign up, but he kept walking, he didn't stop or anything like that.
But he
That
acknowledged
man
him.
is that man is
That
huge.
is a huge guy.
And then he had security guards, which this was a security guard and this was him.
Yeah.
Howard. I didn't know that man was that tall. Because I've seen The Rock in person. I've met The Rock. I've shook his hand. I felt, and I'm the same height as I was when I met The Rock, but I felt with The Rock, I kind of yeah, I looked up to him, but it wasn't like with Bautista, I kind of went like this, like
Yeah.
huge, and he's just solid, solid. Obviously no photo op, no anything like that, but it's funny when you said the security guards, he towers over them because same exact thing.
That's my
Same
favorite
exact
thing.
thing.
When like big hulking men still like have to have security, but I'm like, but you're like,
Yeah.
you're security guards.
Well,
Yeah.
you mentioned that, and Bethy and I both know this. Like living in Florida, the wrestlers all live in Florida because the no state income tax. They're never home, so they get their houses there because they don't have to pay the state income tax. We saw so freaking many of them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and they're all like just such big nerds who just want to go hang out at theme parks.
Who I saw at Disney, I don't remember when, but it wasn't that long ago either. Was George Corpse Grinder
Oh yeah. He's always at the theme
Cannibal
parks.
Corpse.
Yeah. And the best thing about that dude is he always goes and plays the carnival games, and he donates everything he wins. Yeah,
at
SeaWorld. Yeah,
right around the holidays.
It was on 4th of July, I think.
And he had so around Christmas time.
Oh, that's right.
Giant ass candy cane.
Yep.
He had won.
He's carrying this
from one of
candy
the
cane
like
almost
little
as big as
games
he
that he
is.
played. Because we noticed him because I was like, that's a giant ass candy cane that
And I'm
person
like,
won. And then Mike's like, that's
You're like, oh.
and I was like, oh. Yeah, I literally noticed the plushie first.
He's such a nice guy. Cause I bumped into him in a pit watching Slayer
Yeah.
with Elias from Nonpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And Elias gave me like a high five and a hug because I had just seen him like 3 nights prior. And not only that, he sat next to me. So it was crazy because I bumped into Elias 3 times. I saw him at the show. I didn't bump into him, but I went to go see him at a show, right? Then I saw that show like on Saturday night, right, in Fort Lauderdale. Then it was a Monday Night Football game, Dolphins Jets. So I went to that Monday Night Football game, and Elias from Nonpoint was sitting next to me during that game with his dad. It was him and his dad. So I looked at him, and he we were just high fiving during the game. You know how many people they see in and out, obviously, like at these, so I'm like, he's not gonna remember. But afterwards, I'm like, killer show on Saturday, yeah. And I'm like, hey, killer show on Friday, Saturday, whenever I saw him. And then he like looked at me, he was like, you were there, right? I was like, yeah, man. I'm like, I'm a big fan, this and that. And he's like, bro, why don't you say something? I'm like, hey, you're here with your pops, I don't want to bother you. And he goes, fuck yeah, man, this and that, whatever. High five, go Fins. No offense. We actually won that night too, so I was really happy. But so whatever. Then that following Saturday, I think was the Slayer show.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Mayhem Fest.
Okay, yeah, they did that a few times. So yeah.
So I saw Mayhem Fest. It was Slayer was on. Slayer didn't close either. I think Slayer was the second band before close. I think it was Manson. It was Manson. Yeah, but as I'm in the pit, George is in there and Elias is in there, and I bump into Elias in the pit, and he looks at me. He's like, "What's up?" Hugs me, this and that and that. Walked out to go grab a drink. And then he was with George and he introduced me. He's like, man, this guy goes to all these shows. He's awesome. Like, he's a big fan. I'm like, I'm a big fan of yours too. I've seen you guys a couple times. So, yeah, pretty cool. But I think at Disney, same thing. I kind of like high-fived him. And we went on our way. I'm like, fucking love Cannibal Corpse. And then he was like, nice.
We had the real funny one, back-to-back years. We always went to Hollywood Studios on May the 4th, even before it became like the big thing it is now. Like now it's impossible.
I went this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is my first time I ever went.
It's much crazier than it used to be. But back-to-back years this happened that we wound up. The first year was at the fireworks, and the second year was at the Star-Lord and group meet and greet. Mm-hmm. And right in front of us was Hornswoggle.
Oh, shit.
Back-to-back years.
We were like, we were just a big Star Wars fan. We're like, there he is again. Yeah. Like two years on May the 4th.
2 years back-to-back. That's crazy.
Yeah. Apparently, so Hornswoggle's a big Star Wars guy.
The more you know. I was like, same dude, respect.
That's crazy. Man.
So yeah, I was like, what are the odds that we literally have run into him twice on May the 4th at Hollywood Studios?
That's badass, man. Yeah, I didn't know how crazy it got.
After all.
Oh, the thing is now
the merch is just like so crazy. You have to get there at like rope drop where you don't get
it. I waited because I heard about all that, and I was like, I don't care for any of that. So I went to Epcot first at Real Guardians.
Yeah.
Had a little Dole Whip, had a little drink. Then I went over to Hollywood, which was still nuts, but apparently had died down immensely. But it was still crazy. Star Tours had a 50-minute wait.
That's insane.
So I'm like, yeah, that's how you know. That's how I always base it. I'm like, how long is Star Tours? Yeah. But I've gotten lucky enough to where I go random nights, and Rise is a walk on.
Yeah,
like super random, and I'll just walk on.
And
a little bit more
if you
attainable.
Go at the end of the night, sometimes you can get into the cantina without a reservation.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's been easier. I went when I redid my annual passes last month. The day of, I just checked, and they happen to have like 2 slots open, and I took one of them.
For the cantina.
Yeah.
I didn't miss the cantina.
When you guys you guys said you guys are doing Horror Nights
we don't have dates
September,
yet.
Right? End of September.
We don't have exact dates yet. The past 2 years, what we've done,
we tend to like September more than October.
We've done it for 2 nights. The first night we get Express, and the second night we just
frolic,
kind of absorb everything. Like we're not even trying to get into all the houses as much. The second night is more of a okay, if something's got a short wait or we miss something the first night, we do it. But the second night's about the vibes. The first night's about the houses, and the second night's about
you guys were locals for a long time. I was just told by a bunch of my coworkers that go, they're like, dude, if you get the I guess the seasonal pass or the annual, I forget what it's called.
The Frequent Fear,
Frequent, that one. I heard like Wednesday nights is like the night to go that you can just
historically, yes. Even that, again, kind of talking about the 4th, even that has gotten crazier. It's so crazy to see the progression in the last like 5 years of how much busier Horror Nights has gotten. It used to be like, oh, really only like a couple weekends, and Saturdays only, whatever. You could like a Sunday was good, a Wednesday was good, a Thursday was good. I still think Wednesdays and a Wednesday in like September is a lot better than going on a weekend in October. But even like a slow night at Horror Nights is
gotten
it's still busy.
Would have been like what we considered like a busy night back in the day.
So I remember the first year I went, I think was like 04, 05. I know it's when they did the Island of Fear where they had both. Yeah. That was the first year I ever went. And it was doable. Both parks without a fast, because I wasn't buying no fast passes back then. I just got a regular price. And I remember doing that, loving it. The Jurassic Park area was super creepy because they had the guys dressed in the Velocicoaster that would Velociraptors. Yeah. But and then to walk from one park to another, you had to walk through that cornfield, which was nuts. But then I didn't go like for like 3 years after that. I ended up going back, and again with no fast pass. That was the year I learned though. Because it was the year that it wasn't the Sweet 16. No, it was the Sweet 16. It was the year that they had the caretaker and the and the storyteller and all them. but then they followed. So I did that year, Sweet 16, with no pass. But it was busy. Like, and busy back then, I mean like 90-minute wait for a house.
That was back in the
You
day
know?
when you could still get Jello shots while you were waiting.
You were still in
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We got messed up that trip. And I had just turned 21 too. I think I was one of, I think it was like 8 of us, and I was one of 3 that can drink. And
Yeah.
it was. So then the following year was the year where they did the Freddie, Jason, and Leatherface with
Yeah.
Jack the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first year I got Fast Pass, and I was like, I'm never going back. Ever.
So
Like,
when you become frequent fear, you'll get to the point where you don't want to go for full nights. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna go for 3-4 hours, do a house or two, and then I'll come back tomorrow and do another house.
2 houses. Yeah.
Yep.
It becomes like if you have an annual pass, because it's you have an annual pass to Horror Nights, so it's like you don't do the go
unless
from
somebody's visiting.
open to close.
Well,
It's
that's gonna be my rule. My rule is, depending on like who's visiting, what are your plans, and I'll get the Fast Pass. My limit this year is gonna be 2, like, and that's a lot. 2.
I know, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's gotten ridiculously expensive.
Crazy investment.
We'll obviously we'll be in touch, but like I actually think it might be more fun if you came with us the other night, the night that we're not doing it, when we're just doing the vibes night.
When it's just boy dinner night, you know.
Boy dinner night. Well, I'm down for that too.
Boy dinner.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
For roping. I like that.
You're a jabroni.
Guys, I just
There
got back.
it is.
What's going on?
There he is.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
For roping. I like that.
You're a jabroni.
Go ahead.
AJ, you missed everything.
Almost.